Hello, everybody. Welcome to our we're combining series today, and we're combining with the Africa series and what is happening currently in London, in England. Why do I always refer to London as England? Must have turned into a foreigner. So without further ado, we're going to engage and take this journey to the next level, because last night we were resolving system contracts, but there are more layers to this. So we're just going to explore those layers and bring them into resolution. Hello, Derek. Hello, Harrison. How are you both today?
I'm doing good. Hi, Angela. Hi, Harrison. Pleased to be with you again.
It's also fantastic to be with you here once again, and I'm looking forward to this session and seeing what's gonna come up.
It's great. So we had a pre-broadcast chat, so we know what we're doing. We've just engaged in a very beautiful clearing to just bring that sense of strength and fortitude to ground in for this next level. It's really important to just sort of recalibrate ourselves in moments of great change and bring ourselves back to being. And it was so very beautiful, really, really was. Taken away by it myself. So we're going to open spiritual courts of equity. And we are all present. So one of the things that is happening as the follow-on from last night's broadcast is that there are other layers here for us to explore. And they're quite wide and varied. And we're going to make a start in the spiritual court of equity. And we're just going to invite the former Princess Diana into the spiritual court of equity. Now, what do you guys see when we observe her? This is going to be very interesting.
I just saw her a photo or a portrait of her where she is smiling, and she looks quite happy when you have just called on to her. So so what are you seeing, Derek?
Well, I see it's bringing great joy to Princess Diana to be here today to assist us and humanity in the living light. So she's very pleased. She's been waiting for this moment for quite a long time to actually join us and be a part of this glorious court of equity. And even when the court so-called closes in this round table that we're doing, she's going to carry on with the hard work behind the scenes, working with the different layers and overlays that are inorganic.
Brilliant, that's wonderful. So guys, I just want to check on a specific location where she was held to rest. And I'm going to say held to rest because she was trapped on that moat in Kensington Palace. And I just wanted to check that all parts of her have been restored and that there is no magical trickery, ritual or spell holding her there.
Well, there is. And that is the statue that was erected there. I think it was last year. And on top of it, there also is an enchantment that she once removed on the island at Althorpe.
Okay, so into the spiritual court of equity, let's just bring and invite all the other people races here. We're going to have the Queen's race of people. We've got the 15. Happy bunch, aren't they, today?
Yeah.
Can you feel that? It sounds like that, literally growling.
I'm just seeing a multitude of people just coming in.
Right.
And
so here specifically, we want future, past, present lineages. Now of the royal family, the esoteric societies, and on another part of the spiritual course of equity, just going to invite all fragments, all versions, all clones, all time versions of these beings into the spiritual court of equity. Why am I smiling? Because I hear the panic and see it. Like,
Well, while you've been talking, Angela, I've just been focusing on, you're talking about the entrapment and of Princess Diana at Kensington Palace. And then I was shown on the staircase in Harrods, where she's been held in the Egyptian section. So the Court of Equity in this, while it's sitting this evening, is bringing all the people in that are responsible for the entrapment of Princess Diana, and they're being brought to book. And these spells, this dark magic from Althorpe to Kensington Palace to the Egyptian staircase, is being resolved in the Court of Equity right now in 3 different layers, representing the 3 different layers that are placed upon humanity with the passing of QE2.
brilliant. So let's just make a double check there. Now, are they the same ritualists that are about to perform the ritual for the heir apparent?
I'm just seeing what Princess Diana has to say about it.
She had a specific one on the way to, while she was still alive. She was basically being cast.
What she is saying, that there is a being that is part of it that is cloaked. So you think it's just one group, but there's a group that's cloaked, that's almost invisible. So if she hadn't brought through the information, we wouldn't know that. That's one layer.
Right, great. So I'm just going to bring in the technologist who invented the cloaking, and I'm going to ask them to ask her to defrag her technology. And just remove it. And they don't want to be seen. Right, it is moving through the second layer now. So into that, I would like to directly and separately address the staff that are holding the contracts for the next heir to take on. What do you see, guys?
Well, the contracts are false contracts that humanity is led to believe they are divinely given. They're not divinely given. There are false contracts that haven't, well, let's put it this way. There are false contracts that have been drawn up by the fallen hierarchies the dark forces, the Luciferian forces that are trying to take control of humanity and of the earth. And they have done successfully. Their power starting to wane, and they really want this signed and sealed, but the court is not going to do it. What do you say, Angela and Harrison?
Yeah. What I'm seeing is seeing it's like a rebellion, and I can see scrolls. So there's one scroll that is placed on the table, and it's like he's trying to read what's written on the scroll. And there's somebody. I'm keeping on seeing this figure, a person who is wearing a black hood, and they have a staff on their hand.
Okay, bringing him forward. And I suspect there are two others that accompany it. There we go. Now, can you hone in once those cloaks are removed? Tell me what you see. There is no hiding. I'm explaining to you. They're fighting me for the cloak, basically. You don't want to touch it. God knows what's in it.
Yeah, I don't know. And I was seeing someone was calling like a sack. I don't know what was all that about.
Okay, so they're going to be
It's like,
defragged. There's a big giant light, an unescapable light that is following everything. They can't move, they can't run away.
I just want to add here, you're talking about a light, an eternal light. So what is taking place right now is that Princess Diana is also reflecting the divine feminine in this world, in this galaxy, solar system, and universe as part of the divine, eternal, feminine energy. And what's transpired in this court of equity is that she is shining a revolving cosmic light and dissolving all the magic, all the bewitchery, spells, and entrapment placed upon her with the help of the divine feminine team, raw organic energy. And it's like a lattice or network of ley lines, grids taking place. And as I'm speaking, she is diffusing all the bewitchery magic that has held her energy at Kensington Palace through to the staircase in Harrods, the Egyptian staircase, and to the island at Althorpe. And she is released, and she is working with this divine light, assisting mankind and the divine feminine to rise up into their own personal sovereignty as organic, God-given beings of light.
yeah. And as
Honestly,
you're talking, yeah. And as you're talking, Derek, I could see the contract that was placed on the table. The words were just disappearing. It's like something was lifting them up, and you could see the words floating in there, and then they would just fizzle out. I think this was one of the contract that was holding her tied here.
absolutely.
Yeah. Yes, we're talking about threes, and Princess Diana wants to remind us all that there were three in her marriage.
Yes, public be aware. Now, let's just invite Charles to step forward. and all other versions. Why am I laughing? It's the voice. It's the voice.
Yeah, you also picked that up. Yeah, I saw he was quite grumpy and somebody that doesn't even have free will to do anything. It's like,
Exactly. Look, I'm saying, look, don't become a miserable old git in all of this. You know, cool. It's like,
Yes, I would just like to
oops.
I'd just like to remind everybody watching this show that, you know, a lot of people think that the reptilian agenda and the draconians are all woo-woo. And I'd like to tell you people it's actually for real. And what is actually also taking place, we are being shown in this court of equity that with the Queen passing, it's power being passed from one being to another, or one reptilian, draconian to another. So we are being shown in this court that a percentage of the temporal power that the Queen had on earth is being passed to her son, who is now King Charles III. And there we have the number 3 again. And as that power is being transferred, that reptilian, draconian power will be moving backwards and forwards through his energetic field. And that is for real. It's not woo-woo.
Agreed. So let's just get his energetic field defracked, shall we? Him and his missus. That's going to take place. Just going to check the timelines here, guys. What are they collecting as they move this technology, this passing the baton technology? What are they hoping to collect? And my attention has been drawn to the cloaked person with the little sack on the shoulder.
Well, it's an energy of being able to siphon off and harvest more energy from the people around them and the different groups. One also has to take into consideration that King Charles, Prince Charles, who's now King Charles III, is also head of the Freemasons globally to start off with.
Yeah.
So there are going to be a lot of rituals taking place now as he steps into being ordained, in inverted commas, divinely inverted commas, as king.
yeah.
So what is going to take place in the spiritual court of equity with them? Sorry, Harrison. It was very apparent to me then that they're literally that the rituals around that and that magical element is going to really be unable to form itself. If that makes sense. Unable to.
Yes, because the agenda also is to, through blood ritual, try and derail the ascension process for the beings of light, the star people, the rainbow children, the crystal people, the different factions. They're trying to derail it. And this is like a desperate go at it.
Read.
Yeah. What I'm getting up from this man who is cloaked is that he is one of the contract holders, like the Queen.
Thank you.
So yeah, so it's like a backup system that he has within himself that he can transfer power to anyone.
Okay, well, it's time to take away the toys.
Yeah.
So.
And he looks like he is leaving. So
he's not Elvis. It's lessons and he thinks that he hasn't. Oh, that's hilarious. Okay, so the cloak, is the cloak off?
Yeah, I'm starting to perceive some parts of his face. I can see he has beard. I can see he has like red hair. These are the parts they're they're just coming off, and he has he looks a bit old.
Babylonian, maybe? I think. So,
I'd like
Babylon.
to add there, it's if you tune in, you're dealing with a being that is a master shape shifter, taking many disguises.
Hello. Nice to see you again, darling. So we're talking way, way back. So all maestro, shapeshifters of peace. Where are you? Come into the spiritual port. Now, what is your read on Earth Mother's observations and feelings here, guys?
Well, Princess Diana is also showing me that the energy coming into Charles is an energy of shape shifting.
See, shapeshifters got a bad name for these people. I kid you not.
Yeah.
Babylonian shapeshifters carrying the spells. Go on, Harrison.
Yeah, I'm seeing Mother Earth, and I've never seen her so huge this time. She's so huge, and she's just seated, and all these guys look like toddlers in front of her, doing all these all magic and all what, and she's just looking at what they are doing, and she's she's just looking at them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just like, what happened to you, child? But Mama is a big mama, and Mama rules the ship. So I'm going to ask her, what does she feel about these levels of controls that were put upon her? How does she feel, really truly feel, as a feminine consciousness about this? What does she say to you?
Well, it's like any divine female, the perpetrators need to be brought to book. Why interfere and try and harvest the feminine energy for unharmonious and devious ends? So the court actually has the new contracts that have been drawn out by the dark side, if you'd like to call them that, if you will. And it's been stamped, it's been sealed. They have signed it, but there's no one to sign it with them. So the court, presently, the papers are being taken, the 3 different layers of papers, the 3 different files working in a trinity. We have Princess Diana in the court, and with the eternal fire of the one true infinite prime creator source God energy, it is being consumed. And as these files are being consumed, the phoenix rises up out of the ashes. We are shown this symbolically now as well. The shapeshift, the energies being brought through will be completely disharmonious, will not be in harmonic vibration with what is taking place on the earth, and therefore those that choose not to be part of that faction will no longer be a magnetic match to that vibrational frequencies, and the people that have chosen out of their own free will to vibrate with that energy will magnetically click with that faction, if you will.
Very well orated. Superb.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. What I was saying, what they were doing to Mother Earth, it's like they had these strings attached from her back,
Mm.
and she just moved around like this, and everything is just chopping out and being cut off. It's like uh, that level of compliance that Mother Earth was doing before, she's not gonna do it. It's like if we free ourselves, it's like it's freeing her, and if she's free, we are free.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let's just have a look at that a second. I just need to turn that interruption off.
Harrison, you're 100% correct, because we are being shown here, also I'm being shown in the Court of Equity, Princess Diana with the doves of peace that she's sending out, bringing that energy and that frequency of deep peace to those that want to embrace it. She's also working with the peace and the doves, enabling people to ascend and move freely to and into the new earth.
Beautiful. So it's very interesting. Yesterday, I sent a picture to Harrison of a crow attacking the Pope's dove. And it's just so funny that you said that, because we were talking earlier about the imbalance that has been created in the Earth technology itself, the planetary layers, grids, overlays, and so on. And there is a lot of movement of different waters, different like concentrations in various points. So cosmically and shamanically, I don't like to use that word, it's bloody horrible, but it's the only one that I know of to use unless I need to recreate it somehow, thanks. It's just out of harmony. So we're just going to, in the spiritual court of equity, observe the universe and all the elements. And we're just requesting that they're brought back into harmonic balance and peace for Earth. The direct streams are coming back. The direct streams of the currency are coming back. We were talking about this restriction and harvesting of energy comes at a high price for people on a very practical level that manifests in the 3D planes of reality. So every soul that's incarnated on the planet now, bringing all into spiritual order. If there are any subspecies that are trying to wander through, I'm just going to separate them off for a minute. And these new species are coming to Earth. They need a bit of let's just say they need a bit of help to gauge what is going on right now. Because this is going to take us into the bigger picture. The races of Earth are just a very bad way because of this era of control. The previous era of control, should I say. So the 15 as well. Each department, every single minute cell, locations, sectors, density 2, density 1, and last night I was shown that although we won't go there, we'll observe it because you wouldn't want to go there. Density 0. Because there's elements hiding of that, of those controllers or originators. Anything they've left behind for a later date, little snack in the beard.
I don't know. I'm keeping on seeing the queen on her throne, and she's giving this smile. I don't know if it's a genuine smile or whatever she's doing, and on her side there's this red robe coming off, and it's laying off like a thin carpet going downwards. I don't know if she's looking at us what we are doing.
Yeah. I'm just getting on the red carpet in my high heels. Right. Let's all just go there and have a little chat. Ask her what you need to ask her.
Well, I just want to add to the court this evening that we're being shown by Princess Diana that her late father-in-law had drawn up a contract when Charles becomes king. This contract has to do with sacrifices that will be taking place, and blood needs to be spilt in order for this to happen. This is being dealt with the court. They are bringing in the people now, as I'm talking, that are responsible for this contract to be drawn up with her late father-in-law. This is being rescinded through time and space, and it will not take place, and it is valid no longer. And I'm being shown as well that Princess Diana is saying that this is the work that she's been involved in, working with the children, actually saving the children. And when the children have been sacrificed and they have departed the 3D plane, she's been assisting them on the other side. She'd like humanity to be aware how involved and deep this work is going. She said her work is done in the court here in this particular session. She is grateful and she's honored to have been a part of it, and she'll shine her light and she'll help people. You just need to call her in. She is working with the universal, divine, feminine energy, as also represented by the doves of peace. She brings the offering of peace to mankind for those that are willing to accept it, and for those that are not, they'll magnetize to the other side, and that is also absolutely okay.
That's wonderful. It was just to confirm what Derek had said. The Queen was holding some papers on her hand, and I think those are the papers that have just been destroyed. So that was what was being brought to attention.
So I'm going to bring Mother Earth to face Queenie Dearest. Come on, Big Mama, let's have it. Let's have it out. So, what can you describe as the scene and what is being said or energy exchange between those both parties? So what I want to do here actually is something that is common to do when working in the spiritual court of equity. And that is to express the feelings of each individual. So this is how we reach the negotiation. Okay, it's not just, a lot of people just do spiritual, read out something that, you know, is a contract removal thing. It's actually inadequate because there is no resolution in it. You're just creating space between you and it. It's going to come back to bite eventually. This is why the spiritual courts of equity are so important, because actually it's true resolution, not just words stating sovereignty. That's the difference. So I'm just asking planetary sentience, soul sentience of Earth, to just communicate that energetically to Lady Kiri2 and her lineage.
What I am just seeing is I'm seeing a pool of water and there's a drop hitting at the center, and then there are these ripples going out, you know.
Currency. So she's also, I mean, if you feel, just feel in your Earth technology how she feels and describe that sensation if that was you.
I can feel pain and tears flowing. It's like a drop of tear. That was what I'm being shown, and it has a lot of pain, a lot of anger, a lot of tears are shed because of this. So yeah.
As a woman, I feel that.
Well, let's take all those tears, Harrison, and all that pain and suffering, and ask the team in this court to transmute it through God's source energy to be used for something good and beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. But what I want is that lineage to experience what she has experienced. So I'm just making that the case before that takes place.
Yes.
So Kiri2 and her ascendants and descendants and all those that came before, during, after, looping round in all realities, realms, all that, the weave of it, just sending that right in there.
I'm also being shown an image like when they were doing a nuclear test, and then there was this wind that came blowing off the trees. And I don't know if you have ever seen those nuclear tests that US was doing. So I'm being shown this kind of force. It's like being directed to the royal family.
That's right.
And
that is
yeah,
Earth's experience being sent over to them. And if you read the lineage, what is happening to them right now?
It's like a mushroom cloud that
right.
you see.
yeah.
What's Kiri2 and all the other bods? What are their responses to that? How do they look?
Well, they look, first of all, we need to take into consideration that they're also multidimensional beings working on multidimensional levels.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually very pleased with themselves. They think they've done a great job.
Yeah.
And they actually have done a great job about hoodwinking humanity on the earth and in other realms as well, and harvesting and siphoning off the energy. They think that they're actually invincible, and they're going to carry on fighting till the better end in this realm and all other realms, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, to me, they are trying to play the sympathy card. So they are trying to show me their younger generation, the newborns that have been born recently. And this force is gonna even touch those. So they are trying to like
They are. They
show
already
us
started.
that we are destroying them. So by showing us their kids.
Look, if they can coexist in peace, great, no problem, but they don't. So that energy of Earth, that experience of Earth, and every single thing that she's been put through by every single group and all the original Earth races, what they've been put through, with all souls incarnated now, through that, right, all those realms, they can't hide because we are infinite. We just go
No,
every
absolutely.
Mm.
No, absolutely. But then you've also got to take into consideration that they actually have done a great job here, especially recently, with everybody taking their substances and going through a change into joining AI, artificial intelligence, and transhumanism. So in a way, they've aided in the bifurcation and assisted the star seeds, if you will, to rise up, also working in a multi-dimensional field, and they'll eventually split one way, and their experiment will eventually fizzle out and implode upon itself.
Great. That's exactly it. So when you look at all those in the realms, I feel that there is a level of emotional shame. And a lot of people think, right, okay, they probably would be cold, but there is a level there because in their culture, they have a particular MO, a way of being. And if they're shown to be in a bad light, they're going to be feeling that. You know,
yes, but Angela, I agree with you, but you've also got to take into consideration, just like everyone else, the Queen, the late QE2, was given an opportunity and asked if she'd like to cross over into the light, and she refused. She said no, she would not, and she would carry on with her agenda.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So it literally, I'm just going to ramp up the frequency there with all of them in those realms, consolidated here. 100% of Mother Earth's experience and all the lineages of Earth. And you can hear them, it's like being flattened by it. So I will stop this process once I have a commitment to the removal of that system that they put in place across the 4 previous teacher worlds right now. I'm bored by their stories of grace. They're false. They know they have to. That's why we're all here. Observations, please, guys.
I'm just seeing this force blowing up, some papers lying around, and then I'm being shown the image of an elephant giving birth, and I'm like, what does it mean? You know, some of the symbolism are quite different, and
it's a 2-year birthing process for elephants.
yeah.
And they have very good memories. Late.
Yes, absolutely. And also the elephants are the record keepers of the earth as well. So just like the whales in the oceans, when the opposing forces try and dissolve and remove the magnetic grids of information and records around the earth, the elephants together with the whales upload it back again.
Really, it's tit for tat game playing. It's just so childish. So what does Mother Earth say now that she's seen that? How does she feel about that? About this outcome that is emerging?
It's the rebirthing of Mother Earth, of Gaia, not only in this region, but in all the regions or different densities that she exists in as a multidimensional being herself. And the court has done a very good job in the session, also with Princess Diana bringing through the cosmic light through the divine feminine energy and assisting with what is taking place. And as mentioned earlier on, the vibrational frequency of the earth and the light beings is rising up, up and up as the different contracts by the negative factions and forces are being, they're being burnt, torn up, destroyed, call it what you want. And they're having to move on. And for the people that choose that faction, like a magnet, they'll move through that direction with them. But let's not say but, the work done here as well is also releasing Princess Diana to carry on with the work and to make sure that these sacrifices during the transition and the anointment, in inverted commas, as a divine representative of God on earth for King Charles III, that the blood sacrifices will not take place.
Wonderful. That's wonderful news. Right, there's a lot of heaviness shifting of the lineages of Earth. Whew. The Earth is literally.
Yeah, and I'm also seeing all these cords connected to the realm, back to the Commonwealth countries, you know.
Yeah.
In one hand, they were told they were given freedom, but in another hand, there's something else sucking off their energy, and it's like
no,
yeah.
No, I'm saying you're 100% correct, Harrison.
Yeah, you are. And it's the governance factor of that. So let's just take this into the governance systems embedded into the technology of Earth.
Well, what I'm going to say, add to that immediately is, now that there will be no sacrifices of children during the next 10 days or 2 weeks as such, they're going to have to sacrifice an adult.
Well, they can have one of their own, but I bet they don't.
Well, that's exactly what's going to happen. Yeah, you're 100% correct.
It'll be somebody's first son somewhere. That's what they usually do.
Yeah, so that's what's going to take place instead. Okay,
well, that's up to their race, their culture, their elders, and their response, their karma for that little individual. So as we were talking about all of that, but there was a massive, when I say what is it's an energetic movement that is very intense. Just from shaking that alone, I saw the soul contracts for the children being nullified, that they did not have to experience that. They were inserted during the birth process. They knew what they were doing. They had little tags on the wrists or ankles. They take the blood first, and then you're issued with a name. And in that the bracelet thing, the identity, they would you would feel the intent of what was for that individual. And we've seen this before in Britain. For me, you know, on my tag, it was all about putting you through suffering. My daughter, they wanted her soul. And that it's like this for many children, but they will not get them. So the registrations are really key here on a physical level. Don't register your child into the system.
Oh. Yeah, I remember I haven't yet gotten the birth certificate for my child, so
Yeah, don't. You can notarize that she
yeah,
exists, but just not in
yeah,
that system.
yeah. But what they are doing right now is that they are integrating that with every single system that there is. So if you have to take your kid to school, you need these certificates that when we were young, they weren't even necessary, you know.
Mm. And then the child turns 7 and they're lost.
Yeah.
If you can get away with it for another few years, great. Let's keep it on.
We'll
Whoever
wait
it
and
is,
see what happens.
yeah, for all of those numbers and those stock share trade numbers. So they're transaction numbers of life. So I just feel automatically tempted to just bring that into the spiritual court of equity and get the auditors to just go through those numbers, those karmic intents, those soul contracts, and we're going to review the logs of every single incarnated child. And their elders will be supporting this process. It's wonderful, beautiful. So I just want to... Sorry, go ahead, Derek.
No, what I was going to say, as you're talking about Harrison's daughter, this is also the court of work of the court of equity. So as the contracts are being not signed, torn up, burnt, the true sovereignty of humanity on earth is going to be taken place, and the robbed sovereignty by these dark systems, by the dark courts of law that are run by Satanistic, Luciferian forces and groups, will slowly be dissolved. This is the work of the court. So very importantly, the work done here this evening is with the passing of QE2, that children sacrifices, that humanity will not be robbed of their lands, of their freedom, of their sovereign rights, and as free-willed beings. For those that choose to not acknowledge the work of the court, they will also organically magnetize to the side of the Satanistics, Luciferians. We have free will down here. So we do not interfere, but if they'd like to have that choice and go there, they are welcome, but that is not the work of the court. The court is for the freedom, for the saving of humanity, for the saving of the children, and recognizing the rights of the divine feminine and the divine male. For those that are working in shadows, that are working with reptilian, draconian forces, we acknowledge that, we understand that, and we will always hold the free will of God-given source creation, the first rights, and we are battling for the freedom of earth. And this is the work, and Princess Diana, who stepped forward to in this particular court, has is giving out that if anyone listening to this talk and chat, and if they need help and assistance, they can call upon her, and with the light that she has been given through the collective divine feminine energy, will step forward and assist.
Thank you, Derek, for speaking those words. Thank you.
Does that ring true with all of you?
Yes, yes, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go ahead. Sorry.
yeah. The moment you have just talked about Princess Diana, I saw the golden light surrounding her, and she was smiling. And then I saw a bird flying alongside that golden color or light. So she's in agreement of what you have just said.
Thank you for that confirmation, Harrison.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's, you know, this is why I like working with you guys. You offer such complementary views. We all carry a different skill, but when we bring those skills together, we can achieve situations of resolution like this that have been going on for eons. So it's really great. It's really great to see it all working together. So I just want to get a quick view from you guys. When you view the 4 previous teacher worlds, how does it look?
Go, Harrison.
No, I'm seeing it's like darkness, like cords that were attaching this 5th child to the 4th child's being like severed. So it looks like the way they were jumping from one world to another, shifting their belief system from one world to another, or whatever they were trying to achieve. It's like that pathway has already been cut off, and they can't just bring whatever they want to bring because it happened in another world that they can apply into this, and it can be accepted. So it's like that link has been cut off. I don't know what you're picking, Derek.
No, I actually agree with you 100%.
Yes, that one's not coming back.
No, not at all.
It's the impacts that that affect people still to this day, and it is going to be an individual task of healing those timeframes. So in this moment, if anyone would like a session with myself, please, or you know, you might want to have a session with Harrison or Derek. Look, I had to look at your name. How many times have we connected? So, who am I talking to? That's because Derek appears like another vision to me anyway. But yeah, do come along. You can contact me at Harmony Imperfect Council. Leave a comment, get involved. Don't be afraid of resolution, because it's really important. Every one of us will go through it. And if we can remove those influences that affect us being puppets for the system, or future puppets, or past puppets, or any kind of puppet at all, where you are there and somebody has got their hand up your backside controlling you, then that needs to go if you are to progress on your own journey. It makes sense. Sorry about my very visceral description, but that's essentially what it is in its purest, simplest form. It's like, we need to be free of this to have the true expansion, like my pal there. Without it, we can just go on and on, free. It's like carrying suitcases from lifetime to lifetime. Nobody wants to do it. Everybody wants to get rid of them, but they don't know that you can. So do get in contact. Also, just promoting here, taking a quick moment, retreats in Mexico. Do let me know if you'd like to come to stay for a week for a complete transformation of your personal journey on the 4 previous teacher worlds. on an infinite scale and expand your awareness, consciousness, abilities, upshift, clear things that you would never even dreamed of. If you had physical conditions, that you're also very welcome. PTSD, rape, abuse, recovery is on offer to you. We have a selection of therapists to help you with this, led by myself, which is wonderful. And it's a real beauty, this offering. And all we have to do is get better, heal ourselves, love our dark aspects into being, accept that they are there. If there's anyone out there with a spiritual ego says they are doing what they're meant to be doing, and this is something that keeps coming back time and time again. Yeah, be authentic, accept your shadow, because it is an operation and it's a way of integrating that into you, because it was probably really all right in the first place. It just got led along by the system and wanting power, control, and all those things when you didn't need it. All you had to do was just be you. Oh, that sounds easy, being you, doesn't it? So when we go through these processes of recalibration, we allow our being of light to operate through us fully at 100% plus. And that's where we begin to engage the true flow of ourselves and our own divine journeys, just like Princess Di, actually, divinity path being. Beautiful, she's free. So in this moment, guys, we're just going to hold a very deeply sacred space for this feminine consciousness to touch the viewers that love us so much. And that's the gift of love. From all our hearts to yours. We're all here together. Love is the truth, not just an emotion, it is the truth of your experience. Just allowing yourself to increase that in your field, in your heart, in your soul, spirit, body and mind. Rejecting old belief systems, allowing authentic you to be you. Fascinating.
Before we go, I'd just like to mention to all the viewers that by listening to this, there are silent codes that have been placed into this particular session, and there are activations to higher vibrational frequencies. Thank you.
Thank you, Derek, for nailing it and saying it.
Yeah.
That's a good deal of loving in the universe, isn't it? Oh, wonderful.
That was wonderful, Angela, and I could really see Princess Diana. It's like I could actually see like this cosmic light shining around her, you know, and it just makes so much sense. Everything, you know, when we actually do the session and the course, things just organically come forward, you know, that you maybe have never thought about, and just, you know, putting that information, it's energy that we're putting out. And yes, it is true that there, I could really feel, Angela, as you're speaking at the end, and that's why I thought I'd add that the activation codes in this, and they definitely are. I mean, there's no ways Princess Diana is going to appear without certain activations taking place for the people that are listening to it.
Exactly, and it's really great that actually this video is still rolling, so people know that this is not just words, this is actual stuff that's happening right now, live, and we're reading it. So we're individually reading the perceptions of the data, translating it through ourselves. And when each one speaks, something else is coming up to the fore to be addressed as part of that bigger picture. And it's just beautiful. It really is. It really is. So, yeah, I look forward to seeing the future, what happens and how things roll. And let's just take a cursory look at Africa while we're here, very quickly.
Well, I was telling Harrison, I know from Caroline that the Egyptian government is tightening its control on the people. And this week they bring out a new law that you're only allowed to smoke 2 cigarettes a day. I mean, have you ever heard anything that's so mad?
Good luck with that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be leaving as soon as they can get the hell out of there. I mean, that's just insane.
I know, it's like being told that you can't laugh in public.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, enjoy yourself doing this serious work.
And then also we're going to see what's been, a lot's going to affect us because of the Vatican Bank going bankrupt. You know, in South Africa, everybody's been asked to spend only cash on a Sunday, so we don't land up with a cashless society. And this is a global thing as well. You know, Sundays only spend cash. We need cash. I know it's easy to swipe a card and, you know, tap it and everything, but it's better to actually spend cash. So there's actually a lot happening. I mean, you know, like you're saying, Harrison, why is South Africa going through this energy crisis? Well, they've sold us out, just like Germany's been sold out, just like England's been sold out, just like Canada's being sold out. It's the same thing. It just comes in different forms in the countries that we're living in. And we've had enough of these leaders that have sold out our countries. So I really hope this new Prime Minister in the UK, Angela, that comes from nothing, actually does what she says that she's going to do, because it is the financial sector of the world and it will affect Africa, India, and all the other countries.
Absolutely. Sadly, she is a puppet. They all, you know, I'm sure she'll do her best of what she can do at the time and pray for a miracle.
Yeah.
These people that are puppets, they're being controlled by absolute parasites.
Absolutely. Honestly, if people around the world knew the poverty levels in Britain of what they've done to their own people, you'd be shocked. Because it's turning, you know, the old terminology was third world country. Britain is becoming a third world country.
Well, my friend that lives there, Michelle, who I've spoken about before, she, Derek, I'll give you an example of what's going on here. My electrical bill used to be £400 a month. She says now it's £1,500 a month.
That was the bill I paid for 1 year.
That's in London.
Yeah, wow. Laters England.
So, you know, so she says they've got a saying there now, heat or eat.
Yeah, literally it is that. It is that.
And I know that people are preparing for the winter. I mean, I know in Canada people and in Germany that can have wood fires are collecting wood because they're not going to be able to afford the electricity. South Africa also, the electricity has gone up, up and up. Now they even want to increase it more. This is just a scam to actually drain us so that we've got no raw power left for those of us that actually haven't compromised ourselves. And then you've just got to accept that the system's looking after you, and we don't want that. It's not the work that we're actually doing by having these sessions and these court of equities as well. We're trying to actually bring it all down to their knees, get rid of them.
Exactly.
Get rid of these reptilians.
Exactly. And I would like to add something into that is, I'm just going to do a mini spiritual court of equity moment. So just for observation, so people know what we're dealing with. In the spiritual court of equity, I would just like to invite all those, any being, this could be anybody, any race, any culture, who compromises Earth with what they do on Earth.
Yeah, sectoids as well.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Especially flying cockroaches.
Yeah.
Yeah, funny thing is that they all take the human looking cloak so that they appear like they are for the humans, and people can't even remember their past lives, so they don't know what's happening.
Yeah, so that is the terrible thing about it all, the race amnesia and the experience amnesia, because people just don't know who they are.
Yeah, and it's like they keep on bringing up this technology that causes this race amnesia, and reinventing it and reselling it to the masses. That's like the new trending thing, but it keeps them in a loop where they are ignorant. And
Yeah.
And what
Agreed.
beats me is that people are actually, I mean, I know we all need the internet, but people are actually paying for themselves already without knowing it to be linked up to artificial intelligence. To put it like that, Angela.
So when people say, oh yeah, everybody in their own time, you know, how long can one wait at a bus stop before they get a cab?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, guys, honestly, it was great doing that with you today.
No, listen, it's wonderful that you actually came up with the idea to do the court now. And you know, I mean, these sessions are super powerful. You know, we mustn't, I mean, the three of us mustn't undermine what the court is actually capable and the powers that we're actually dealing with. And we're just shown that so beautifully with Princess Diana. We helped her to, I mean, there's no ways that I would have just come up with the staircase in Harrods and the statue. I mean, I've never thought about it in my life before. And I'm thinking, like, where the F did that come from?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And you have to trust your intuition and perception, because we've been trained out of it by focusing on the system. Everything is in here, and you can read it with your tech. Beautiful, really, very pleased. So how are those compromised Earth?
So I've got to thank you as well.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. Great. You know, it took, you know, it really took, you know, I was thinking about it today over tacos. And you know, there's a, God, I was thinking about it too much. I have to claim it back. Look, I'm just going to leave it at that, but there was a thought that came from that. But Harrison's yawning. We've got to go. We're spread out a bit across the world. So I'm just going to just stop that and come back next week, because there'll be something else happening that is equally, if not more, exciting. Bye.
All right, because there's going to be the coronation soon.
Yes, we've got the 9th, we've got the 11th and the 21st to look at.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, everybody.
Subscribers, guys, yeah, go for it.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Subscriber messages that you love them.
Okay.
Oh, in them. No? All right. Yeah. Last message? No.
We'll see you soon.
See you soon.
Bye. Cheers.